Hi there, Michael. So, sorry about the internet problem earlier on, but I've had a really good listen to Little Solitary Boy, and yeah, I've come up with some ideas. So, here's how we're going to play it. So, I'll just play it through. There we go. It's not quite perfect as you can hear, but hopefully you've already seen the video by now of somebody actually playing this traditional Chinese instrument called the Guqin. And obviously it's played in a very different style to the guitar. They have no frets, and so they can slide along the string and get a really nice sound, which we can't get unless we use bends. Okay, so we need to think about string bending. So here, what I'm doing is I'm putting my third finger at the fourth fret of the G, but it's reinforced by the second and first finger, all on that same G string. My thumb, as you can see, is over the top. Now, even if you can't get your thumb fully over the top, it wants to be somewhere around here to give you some leverage. Then we're going to play that G string, and I'm pushing the string. You can probably see that. So as I bend the string, can you see that the strings are actually being pushed upwards towards the ceiling? Now, there's two directions I need to press at the same time here. I need to press down on the fret like I was fretting the note normally, and I also need to press up. Now, what will happen when you start doing this is that as you press the string upwards, you'll lose contact with the fret, and you'll hear the note choke like that, and you'll think, oh, this is really hard work. String bending takes a long time. It's an absolutely essential thing for rock guitar though, so well worth coming across. We're going to learn it sooner or later, might as well do it now. So when you get it right, you'll hear that the note continues. Now at the beginning, you won't find the right place to stop bending. And what we're going to do is we're going to use a reference pitch. And luckily enough, in the actual piece of music, there is a reference pitch. So it kind of works as a really good practice piece. It's this note here, on the second fret of the B string. And that's the note we're pushing this fourth fret towards. And then after you've done the bend, just refer back to your reference pitch, this second fret of the B, and then try and hit that note. So remember that note. And now I'm going to try and push the string all the way to that note. And you never get it quite precise. That's one of the beauties of string bending, is that there's always a slight uncertainty about the pitching, which we happen to think is a really nice sound. So, but you need to be accurate enough. Okay, so let's have a look at the actual piece. If you should be practicing that technique every single day, it's going to rely on you doing that to build up the muscle strength, because we're using the muscles in the fingers in a brand new way. So again, we are lifting weights but with very small muscles, so you need to do it every day and build those muscles up, get the strength in your fingers. And then the actual piece itself, what we need is an open A string, and we need the second fret of the G, and we need the top E. We need those three notes, and we don't want anything else. So, and we're going to hear them all at the same time. And the way I'm doing that is I'm putting my thumb on the A string, I'm putting my first finger there on the G, and my second finger there is on the top A in the right hand. And then I can, with my first finger just on that second fret of the G, because the other two strings are open, I can just pop and strike all three strings at the same time and not get any other strings. So can you see that in the right hand? My thumb's sat on the A, my first finger's sat on the G, and my second finger is sat on the top A. And then I just hold the G string down at second fret, and then with my right hand, just pop, and we get all three notes at the same time. So there's our first move. Yeah, and with a little bit of practice, you'll just find that you'll be able to put your fingers straight down on the correct strings. There's gonna be a few wrong goes. You just need to accept that, keep doing it, it'll get easier, and your fingers will find their way. And then we're striking the top E again, and then we're going to come down to third fret of the B string. I'm playing that with my second finger. The reason I'm going to do that will become apparent. So far we have this. Yeah? Oh, wrong note there. Yeah? And then we're going to grab this fourth fret of the G, as we did earlier on as our practice technique with string bending. Fourth fret of the G, two fingers backing it up, thumb over the top, and there's our first phrase. Now at the very end of that bend, we hear the bend come down. It's very, very quiet by that point because we've held the note. You hear that come down, it's very, very quiet right at the end. Now you might think, well, that's really quiet, I can ignore that. Don't. Really quiet things often really bring an emotional context to a piece of music. They're called ghost notes, they're absolutely essential, and this piece of music makes use of a lot of ghost notes. That's notes that are very quiet, almost impossible to hear, but they're there. Yeah, let's try that again. Oops. There we go. And then we're going to play that again. This time, that note doesn't come down. Then we're going to slide. Doesn't really matter which finger you do it with. I think I'm going to do it with my third finger. From 4 to 6 on the G string. So I'm pressing down at 4, I'm playing the notes, and then I'm still pressing down, I'm just sliding up to 6th fret. Yeah, you want to be a little bit careful doing slides if you haven't done them before because you can cut your finger. Do it every day, your finger the skin of your finger will soon toughen up. Then when we've slid to 6th fret, we're then going to play 6th fret again, and then we're going to bend, but only slightly. It's just a half bend. Half as far as we bent it earlier on. It's called a half step. And you'll see in the tablature I'm going to send to you that we've got two different types of bends. These are the bends here. The first one is full, and then you can see the bend is held and then released after a long time. So, da, there's the bend falling off. Yeah. Then we've got another bend there, which is just held. Here's our slide to 6. Here is that bend on 6th fret. It's got a half next to it, so it's not a full bend, it's just a half step, and then it comes back down again. So there's that. Can you hear that? That's really melodic. And then we're going to play 4 with the first finger and slide back to 2. It's not quite the noise made by the traditional Chinese instrument, the Guqin, but it's pretty close for the guitar. There I did it with a pull off from 4 to 6 and then a slide down to 2. You can use a number of different articulations just to get your point across. And you can certainly use this melody as kind of a canvas to experiment with different articulations. So we've got slides, we've got hammers and pulls, or we've got bends. And can you hear I did those same 2 notes 3 completely different ways? It's 4 on the G to 6 on the G and then back to 4. I can slide it, I can hammer and pull it, or I could bend it. So there's 3 different articulations you can practice just within this song. Really good example of a piece to work your articulations. So then we've got our final phrase. We've got another full step bend on 4 on the G. Then we hold it up there, and then with the first finger free, we grab the 2nd fret of the B string. Now you're going to find that really quite tricky. And then we're coming down off the bend on the G, and you can either pull off to the 2nd fret or you could slide back. Entirely up to you. Now I'll send you some tablature with my recommended articulations, but I'll also just give you some details of the articulations quite separately, and then you can start to use them creatively and you can choose which one you want to use at any given moment in time. The one articulation I tend to use quite a lot, which is vibrato, doesn't seem to be used very much by this player of the Guqin, and so I haven't given you any vibrato, but if it's something you want to mess about with, basically what I'm doing is I'm taking the note and then I'm doing a small bend and then returning, small bend, returning, small bend, returning, and I tend to do that quite quickly. That gives that really nice wobble to the note there. So I'll give you some examples of vibrato as well. Happy practicing with that. I'll get some tab across to you to back up this video. Anyway, that is an example of how you might approach playing a traditional Chinese melody There we go. All right. Cheers, Michael. Have a good one.